In today's video, let us see how to identify the transformation from this illustrated grid. The heading actually says describe the reflection. So it is obvious that the transformation is reflection here. But how do we confirm that it is reflection? The simple concept that we learn in physics when we are introduced to what reflection is, when we learn about mirrors, we know that the object and the image are equidistant from the mirror line. This is a simple concept that we are introduced to when we first hear the word reflection, mirror images and all that. So which means how much ever the object is in front of the mirror, the same distance the image will be formed on the other side of the mirror. So you can connect it to the concept of line of symmetry in shapes, because in 2D shapes the line of symmetry is a line along which the shape can be exactly parted into two identical halves such that one half overlaps the other exactly, without leaving any gap, or it should exactly overlap. When you fold it, it should exactly overlap the other half. So that being said, when we look at A is the reflection that maps onto A onto B. Here the interesting thing is that they are overlapping, meaning when you have something like this and something like this, obviously you can measure the distance between the two shapes, and midpoint of them should be the mirror line, so that the object is at one distance, the image is at the same distance on the other line. But here we see that the base is shared by both, which means this point gets reflected here and this point gets reflected here, which means the mirror line is somewhere overlapping these two shapes. And since it is shown on a grid, the midpoint of these two is this. So definitely I am going to draw a very light colored line here, so that normally it is recommended to draw a dotted line. Since I am doing it with my stylus here digitally, I am using a very light colored solid line. So this is the mirror line, which means when A is reflected along this mirror line, you get B. So we'll have to find the equation of this line. It is a vertical line. Clearly any vertical line is of the form x equal to a constant. It is at 3. So clearly this is reflection along the line x equal to 3. This is A. Even if it didn't say reflection, we see that the image is laterally inverted, correct? Because the sides are swapped. So it is reflection. You can make it out that way. Now part B is A to C. Now here comes the catch. In reflection, when the mirror line is vertical or horizontal, it's pretty easy to visualize it. What I've drawn here is a vertical mirror line. If I have a shape like this, naturally, if my mirror line is horizontal, the image will be like this. This is the object. This is the image. How much ever distance this is up, same distance down. But what if my mirror line is diagonal? When it's diagonal, the shape will slightly tilt. The orientation will change, tricking us to believe that it could be a rotation. Because in rotation only, the shape something like this would become like this, Then like this, we do it in steps of 90 degree each. So sometimes it is easy for us to get confused between a rotation and a reflection. But to rule out that it is not reflection, first we will check with the two diagonal lines y equal to x and y equal to minus x. Y equal to x is a straight line passing through the origin, cutting the first and third quadrants exactly in half. Y equal to minus x is a line passing through the origin, cutting the second and fourth quadrants in exact halves. So looking at the orientation of A and C here, since they are here and here, obviously our mirror line has to be like this. I am again taking a very light colored marker here. So every tip, since it's y equal to minus x, we know that it should pass through minus 1 comma 1, minus 2 comma 2, minus 3 comma 3, and here 1 comma minus 1, 2 comma minus 2. So I can mark these corner points of every grid and join to get the line. So now that this is done, this is, like I said, y equal to minus x. So this should be reflection along y equal to minus x. This is B. The concept here is that when your mirror line is tilted, especially, how would you illustrate a reflection? Here the reflection is given, we were able to identify. If you have to demonstrate it on a grid, you have A, how would you draw C? From every tip here, you should draw perpendicular lines to your object. Since here it is a grid, obviously a diagonal line like this would be perpendicular. I'm just doing an approximate thing. When we have it on paper, you actually have to use it. You can use a protractor and just use a ruler and draw it. And measure this distance. Whatever is the distance between this point and here, same distance, extend it on the other side. So the reflection of this point would be here. Likewise, whatever is the distance between this point and the mirror, same extend it here. So that point reflected comes here. And then here, again perpendicular line, measure the distance, same distance extend on the other side. Once you get the three vertices, join them to get your shape. So this is how you have to typically perform or illustrate a reflection. So hope that was helpful. I'll see you all in another video. Thank you.